Hi, Vonnie here with Prayhouse Gifts, and we are on day 25 of our Aging Gracefully challenge. Today we're going to look at the characteristics of wisdom, and this is a two-part series. Tomorrow we'll look at some more characteristics of wisdom. So the great thing about wisdom is this is where people who are older have a lot more of it than people who are younger. It says this in Proverbs 20:29. The glory of the young is their strength, and the gray hair of experience is the splendor of the old. So let's take a look at wisdom and what are the primary characteristics. Well, when you look at Proverbs, humility is actually discussed more than any other characteristic. Um, Yesterday we saw that fearing God takes the correct attitude towards Him, and today we see that wisdom also takes the correct attitude towards God and people when it's humble. Proverbs 11:2 says, "The wise are humble and have been pruned or chiseled by trial, and they renounce self." And the interesting thing, I think one of the reasons older people have more wisdom is they have gone through trials. That reminds us to always be grateful for the trials we're going through, and probably what's being developed through the trial is humility. Proverbs 14:3 is going to tell us that wise people speak humbly, and it goes on to define humbly in the Amplified Version. They don't boast, they're not scorning, they're not commanding, and they don't give laws to others. So we saw in the New Testament where the Pharisees were always giving laws to other people. And Jesus, rebuked him and said, "You can't even keep these yourself, but you try to force them on other people." So what's interesting today is we do see people giving laws again. We do see Pharisees saying this is right, this is wrong, and kind of making up their own laws. Okay, so that's not humility, that's pride. The other thing in Proverbs 25:27, it says they don't seek their own glory. They're not out trying to promote themselves or make themselves, famous on TikTok or Twitter. They really seek God's glory. So humility, the number one quality of wisdom. The second most discussed quality of wisdom is wisdom speaks the truth boldly. Matthew Henry writes, "Truth does not seek corners, and virtue is not ashamed of itself." So Proverbs 10:20, it says, "The wise people will speak God's word." Proverbs 15:23, "They will give the right answer at the right time." Proverbs 18:24, "Their words are like a gushing fountain of skillful and godly wisdom." The next quality is wisdom is self-disciplined, and they also discipline their children. The wise people have virtue and discretion, and they avoid worldly lust. That's Proverbs 11:22. Proverbs 21:23, they guard their mouths and they keep themselves from trouble. So they discipline what they say. And then Proverbs 19:18, they also discipline their children. The fourth quality we're going to look at today is wisdom works hard. Proverbs 10:4, the wise work hard. Proverbs 13:11, they gather wealth little by little and increase their riches as God blesses them. And Proverbs 13:11 also says they don't try to get rich by quick means that don't involve hard work. And that makes me think of things like gambling, playing the lottery, things like that. So there's almost an implication when you look at the Amplified Version that things that come to you quickly like that are under a curse. So I would not recommend gambling or playing the lottery. But what I would recommend in Proverbs 22:29, they're diligent and skillful in their business. So those are the four qualities, the four characteristics of wisdom that are mentioned most often in Proverbs. Today's challenge is to choose an area, any of those areas, and ask God specifically for wisdom in that area. So we will check back tomorrow and see more characteristics of wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye-bye.